My name is Jamie Tomlinson, and I have Osteogenesis Imperfecta.
At what age did you realize you had OI?
I feel like I've always known, if that makes sense. I was always
Okay.
told what I can and can't do.
Did you accept your OI gracefully, or did you resist and try to be like everybody else?
Oh, I absolutely hated it. I hated the fact that I wasn't normal, and I was bullied for it in middle school. So I I had to wear a back brace, and I couldn't participate in any of the fun activities. I was terrified to go outside during the winter. So I was the outcast, and that's hard. It's hard to be an outcast growing up because like you get bullied for it, and that was me in that case. And I prayed that I like it this bone disease to just disappear. I wish that it would just go away. But I learned to accept it later in life, and I realized that I can create amazing art because of my limitations.
Hi, I'm Kevin Tomlinson. My daughter Jamie has OI. Her mother has OI. I knew that when I met her, and subsequently, our daughter was born with the disease as well.
Is there any treatment options appointed to you during your child's growth development?
During my child's growth, we were offered a treatment of permidronate, which is a medication which allows the bones or the long bones to absorb calcium. Osteogenesis imperfecta is a disease which affects the calcium absorption in the long bones, and the permidronate treatments allowed her bones to absorb calcium for a period of time to help strengthen them. It took it was 3 days of infusions once every 6 months, long days down at the hospital. And that was really the only treatment options that I was offered for her. And, did it work? I don't know. Did she have fractures? Yes. But, you know, you're not handed many options when it comes to diseases like this. So you just take what you can get and hope for the best. Someone wanted to know what OI was. It's just breaking bones easily, usually shorter in stature. Um, there's no difference mentally. There's no difference, physically other than the breaking of bones. Um, Always reference to the movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, because that kind of brought the disease to the forefront, give it a Hollywood name or a Hollywood title. Um, but people still don't understand the disease. They just don't get it because it's not one of the you know popular ones per se. It's not a cancer. It's not a heart disease. It's not lung problems. It's a physical disability. Um, for the most part, isn't identifiable from looking at someone. If you know what you're looking for, you can see the blue sclera of the eyes. But that's really the only physical attribute for the most common form of the disease. When you raise up into the different levels of the disease, there are other identifiers. People with really short limbs, ballooned out chests, confined to a wheelchair. Um, but, you know, for my daughter to walk down the street, no one would know that there's an issue with her other than, the look of her eyes. And probably now with some of the injuries that she's had, some of the restrictions or the limited movements because of fractures or just being uncomfortable or in pain. But physically, if she was sitting on a bench or standing on the street corner, you wouldn't know there was an issue with her at all.
Were you scared of all the hospital visits that might come and surgeries that may happen? Was that a factor that played into your opinion about the pregnancy?
The risks that were involved with fractures and the long-term effects really weren't a consideration for the health and well-being for you. You were our child, or Jamie was our child, and it was, that's just how it was going to be. There was no second guessing our choices. There was no considering the long-term effects. It was just to provide the best life with the circumstances that we were handed.
So going back over all the breaks that your child with OI has, do you know what the most memorable one was? And if so, was it like a fun break?
Well, the most memorable fracture that my daughter had was we were all up at my parents for Thanksgiving. All of her nieces and nephews were riding bikes and having fun, and she wanted to be just like them. So, who am I to stop her from playing with her cousins? She got on a bicycle, went over a little ramp that they had set up, fell off the bike, broke her elbow, or broke the tendon off the elbow. Of course, we were miles away from anywhere. She said her arm was sore. We ended up, propping her arm up and letting her finish the weekend there, which was just the last night. We went home the next day. And then we went to the hospital, and, she had broken her elbow. But, I wasn't the one to stop her from, experiencing life and enjoying the things that other kids would get to experience. So, live and learn, deal with the consequences afterwards, and, just let her be a kid. But that sticks out as one of the most memorable fractures that she had.
Hi, I'm Joan Tomlinson, grandmother of Jamie Tomlinson, who has OI.
Hi, I'm Paul Tomlinson, Jamie's grandfather. And yes, we were aware that Jamie might be born with OI.
Comparing OI to the other children, like what you said, was there ways that you could talk to me to convince me not to participate in whatever they were doing, or was I so headstrong you would just make sure you kept a close eye on me?
Well, you didn't come up too much with the other children, but when they did come up, we made sure that you didn't go off too I don't know.
Well,
when she was on the bicycle, I mean,
kids,
we were all inside. Adults were inside.
I think Jamie was always conscious of the fact that she had OI, or brittle bone disease. But when it came to, playing with the other kids, that consideration was secondary, and we could only hope that she didn't get into too much trouble out there.
I mean, she used to play with the other kids, the Renders kids, and you ride bicycles. And a couple of times you fell off, but luckily you went into the bush and didn't hurt yourself too much. But yeah, you knew what you could do, but of course you always went one step further sometimes. But she survived.
Accidents do happen.
Yeah, I mean, normal accidents happen to normal kids too. So, yeah. But when it's like you should land on cotton wool.
It seems to me that OI really hasn't kept you back. Is that a fair statement?
I think from an outside point of view, yes, but on the inside, I think I suffered a lot with depression and with my social anxiety. I try not to speak a lot about that just because I don't want to be more different than I already am, but it was a struggle at one point, and it was really hard, but like I said, it made me who I am today, and I'm strong because it. But you just sort of have to get over that big gap of both feeling not normal and, well, what are you going to do about it sort of situation. So I've overcome that gap, and I've learned to grow to accept it. But if there's anything else you wanted to add or include, now is your chance to do so.
My daughter has grown up to be a very strong, independent woman, which is really impressive. I'm very proud of it. It has been a struggle throughout her, childhood and her teen years. She has suffered many fractures, but she's always risen to the top, overcome her obstacles, and just is a joy to be around, and a really good person. Looking back at it, would I have changed anything? Probably. I can't change anything. Fractures happen, life happens. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Those are the cards you're dealt, and you have to play those cards. And I'm really proud of the person that she's turned out to be.
If you want to learn more about osteogenesis imperfecta, please visit kidshealth.org or oif.org for the Osteogenesis Imperfecta Foundation. All the links will be in the description below, and thank you for watching.